Come on, Dad.
Where are we going?
We're going fishing.
Since when have you liked fishing? We're going anyway.
There you are. Do you remember when I was little, you always promised me that one day we'd go and cast a line off the northernmost tip of Australia?
No.
We're doing it now.
You lost your mind. Cape York's like 3,000 miles from here.
Yep. This is the life. The open road, my dad. Does it get any better than this?
Paul, what drew you to doing this movie project?
The only thing that counts is the script, and the script was wonderful, and the second thing was to work with Shane. And actually, we were cast before it was written, because Dean Murphy, the writer-director, knew us both, and we'd met and hit it off. And he asked us independently, would we like to do a movie together? And we both said yes, and he said, oh, good, I'll go and write it. And fortunately, it turned out to be a wonderful script. So.
This was actually based on real-life people too, wasn't it, the storyline?
Yeah, well, many of the characters were. I mean, the characters that me and Paul play, being Charlie and Boots, is a father and son relationship that's estranged. Now, that part, the writer and director, Dean Murphy, his relationship with his father, who sadly has actually just passed away, Dean's father, only in the last week or so. So they don't have, or nor did they have, an estranged relationship. But his father is based on... Roy Billing plays a character at the end of the film that's a pilot, and that's based very much on his dad. But the humour and the heart of the film comes from Dean's experiences seeing other friends and their estranged relationships with their fathers. So yeah, the entire film's kind of peppered, if you will, with different people in his life. There's even a character the late Reg Evans plays. It was the last performance he got to give before he lost his life in the fires, and even that character, who's only in the film for moments, was actually based on an uncle that Dean has, who he said used to sit in the corner of Christmas parties, and he said, you might get a Merry Christmas, and on his way out you may hear, good to see you, and he said, but that was pretty much an 8-hour occasion with an uncle. Merry Christmas, nice to see you.
I love that scene with you and Reg, because it really is typical Australian, isn't it?
Oh, it's so Australian. It wouldn't even get a reaction in other countries.
No.
But people see that and they recognise it, yeah.
I've got to ask you about your stunt work, because did you do your own, Shane?
I did some. The riding of the wild bull, that wasn't my good work. That was a man much braver than me, or slightly more insane. Although I did work with there was two bulls. There was a calmer one and there was an insane one, so I worked clearly with the calmer one.
No worries, I had a good look at that old bull. It's gentle as a lamb.
Are you mad? There's no way I'm going to be able to ride a bull, you idiot.
I think I don't know cattle after all these years. If he's a fucking bull, I'm the next pope. Wave the fans.
You're gonna die, you fat...
You've obviously done this before.
No. I've ridden a horse before. Does that help?
Well, we'll be right then, won't we? Enjoy.
But some of the driving stuff, yes, some of the driving stunts I did, which left Paul terrified, so he got extra money just to sit in the...
No, I did the stunts. I had to sit in the car while he driving. And I do say this, he once won my admiration when he ate the strawberries all by himself.
Yes, that was quite a swag of strawberries you had to down there, didn't you?
I ate more strawberries than I care to admit. I would be happy. I've said now a few times that if aliens came to Earth and said, we're here to take a farmer from the middle of America, I'd go do, but just before you go, take all these strawberries and take the bastards with you.
You spent a lot of time in the car, and that was a real-life situation as well in the car. How did you two fare in there day after day?
No, the company was fine. It was the air conditioning that was the thing we never stopped complaining about, especially when we got up to Emerald, where it was, we had one cool day that was only 39.
Yeah.
But the rest of the days was around 44 in a Kingswood with no air conditioning. Wow. I mean, it's not just a matter of whining about the heat. It's because when you're making a film, you're not supposed to sweat. So you're sitting in a car and it's like, about 75 in the car. So we did a bit of whinging, but, we just made each other laugh and forgot about it,
You fell in love with that car too, didn't you?
I now own it. And I'm only doing that so that every time Paul comes back for Christmas or to see his family, I'm going to pick him up at the airport at Kingswood, because it drove him mad that it had no air conditioning.
Spending 8 weeks on the road and taking you virtually all the way from Victoria up to the northernmost point of Australia, you must have met some fun locals on the way.
Everywhere we went, yeah. And it just seemed to be getting wackier. The further north we got, the further we got up into the heat. By the time we got to Emerald, we weren't the circus coming to town. We were going to the circus. All those miners up there, crazy. Yeah.
And I've got to say too, the plane scene is just classic with you. I mean, the look on your face in the back of that small plane is just priceless.
I fortunately, due to common sense, didn't actually get in that plane when it flew, because the reality was it probably wouldn't have taken off with me in the back. I mean, look, a jumbo has trouble when I'm in the back of the thing, getting off the tarmac. But no, it was.
I have the same feeling.
Because Rubenesque is what we do. We're made for hugging, not loving. But look, it was incredibly. I mean, even Paul and Roy Billing pretty much filled the front of the aircraft, and then they had me in the back. So no, look, it's a fantastic part of the film, but to have me in the back, well, it would have been death. The thing could only have got an inch off the ground before it would have noseplowed straight back into the turf. I'm not going up in that.
Can you do aerobatics in this?
Oh!
I hope that's broken.
It had a great support cast, including Val Lehman, who played a lady bowler in a small regional country town who cut you off from the traffic, and that created a very funny scene. How was it working with her?
Tormented her somewhat, and had a few extra lines and bits in there that I wanted to do, which ended up on the cutting room floor. Had to do with me giving her a spanking. And she thought it was cute, but, it never made it. They took it out.
How did you guys feel when you were making it? Did you have a ball?
Oh, it was ridiculous that we were getting paid to do it, because to have that much fun should actually be illegal, and in some countries it is. But look, I mean, honestly, sometimes the worst word we could hear was action, because we were having so much fun, and quite often, Paul will be halfway through a gag, and the nun walks into the pub with a sparrow on her head, and then we hear, "Okay, guys, ready for the funeral scene?" I'm like, "Damn, I didn't get to hear the rest of that joke." So it was look, honestly, it just couldn't have been more fun, and I'm actually going to insist that if I do any other film, it needs to be a film involving Paul Hogan, myself, travelling across Australia. It may seem a little bit similar to this film, but we don't care.
We do it again, the blink of an eye.
What's next for you after this, Paul?
For me, nothing. As usual. Don't plan ahead.
It's always best. What about for you?
I've got a couple of animated features and a thing called Morty Coots that I'm doing with my brother Clayton Jacobson. So we've got that character that's about to kind of hit the world of computers, hit do webisodes, they're calling them, which is a play on the word web episodes, and some stuff that I'm looking at in America on a stage show. And so I've got a fair bit on the board actually.
Well, one thing you can do for Brisbane people is try and get Guys and Dolls up here.
Well, they were honestly talking about doing. The only thing I can say, because I'd love to come up here and do it. I've got a lot of close friends up here that I'd love to bring the show to, and we had an absolute ball. It really was. They were calling it the Dreamcast. Gary McDonald, Lisa McCune, Gary McDonald, who is another icon. I got a chance to work with him, and now Paul Hogan. But Ian Stenlake, who's a Brizzy boy at heart. Magda Shabansky, Marina Pryor. It was fantastic. We had a ball, but they were talking about bringing it here. The only thing I can say to anyone that wants it here is get on the phone and I don't know, ring QPAC or wherever they're thinking about putting it on, and start screaming for tickets, because demand is something that actually creates supply.
Exactly. Thank you so much for joining us, Shane. All the very best, and we hope to see you back here in Brizzy.
But we're embracing it. I think this is very special. It's something that the listeners never get to see.
I'm feeling the moment.
I'm telling no one.
I'm looking away. I'm horrified at it.
Hey, look at this little river. It's a big koala.
You're going to be like this all the way.
It's Australia, Dad. It's fascinating.
Everything all right, isn't it?
I can handle this.
Tell her to get some glasses.
Thanks for stopping. Thought I was going to be out there all night.
I'm Charlie, and this is Boots. Pig!
What are you doing?
Boots McFarlane, ladies and gentlemen. What is wrong with you?
You blokes got some trouble, have you?
Shit, Dad, we're doing 100.
I want you to pull over.
Pull over. It's a bright button.
I'm sorry to hear about Grace. She sounds awesome.
Yeah, she was something else.
What really gets me is that I never got to tell Mum I still loved her.
Well, mate, she knew that. I promise you she knew. Turns out I'm good with the ladies.
Just once in my life, it'd be nice to achieve something I've set out to do. I'm not going up in that.
Can you do aerobatics in this?
Oh!
Shit! Look at that. The Great Barrier Reef. One of the true wonders of the world.